once again before you. As you know very well that in accountancy for class 12 CBSE syllabus, we have been dealing with the chapter number 5, that is admission of a new partner, right? And already first video I have prepared for that. You must have watched that, I hope. Okay, in this video we will discuss about determination of new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio. Alright, very first I explain you the concept and then we'll attempt the numerical problems on various cases, right? Okay, so very first let's start with new profit sharing ratio. This is not new for you. Already in chapter 4 we have had discussion about it. Once again explain you. What is new profit sharing ratio? New profit sharing ratio is the ratio which also includes the share of the new partner, right? Okay, earlier say for example there were 3 partners. Okay, now one more partner is admitted, and when the new partner is admitted, then the ratio will include the 4 figures. Okay, 4 numbers, 4 items, right? Okay, so with the help of those figures, whatever the ratio will come, that will be known as new profit sharing ratio. Understood the point? Okay, and now what will be the new ratio? That will depend on the terms and condition agreed between or among the partners, including the new one. Understood? Okay, now what happens when a new partner comes to get admitted in any partnership? Okay, then he acquires, because he is going to get share in the running partnership firm. So he acquires his share in few modes. There are 3 modes. I just write all the modes here. Okay, in those he can acquire the shares from the old partners. So what are those modes? I just write down. Alright, so first one, in their old profit sharing ratio. I'll explain you, like A, B, C are partners and their sharing ratio, for example 5, 4, 3. Okay, now new partner D comes for 1/4 share. Say for example, okay, now in this condition we consider that he is getting this 1/4 share, okay, from the old partners in their old profit sharing ratio. What does it mean in actual? That all these are going to sacrifice. Okay, so they will sacrifice in the similar ratio. So at this point their old ratio and their sacrificing ratio is going to be similar. So they are going to sacrifice in the similar ratio. It means he is going to acquire this complete share from the old partners in their old ratio. That is what the condition. When I do the numerical question on this, you will understand it better. Okay, another, in a particular ratio there is a certain ratio, okay, that it's like D is going to get 1/4 and that will be directly getting from A. So that is what the particular ratio. Okay, another, it may be possible that the same conditions can be kept for other as well. Okay, means he is getting some portion from B, some from C. Okay, and another, in a particular fraction from old partners, there is a bit difference here, that D is getting, say for example 1/3 of A's share. Okay, so that is what the particular fraction from old partner. So old partner, say for example earlier is getting 50 rupees, so 1/3 of 50 rupees will be going to D. So that will have to calculate. So there is a difference among these. Okay, so we'll talk about them when we do the numerical question. Now one more thing, let me tell you that these all 3 modes has some cases as well. Okay, so in a short time I just discuss the names of the cases and then we'll do the numerical questions on the same. Fine. So there are few cases like I told you in all the modes. Okay, so let's understand. In mode 1 there are 3 cases. Very first, when profit sharing ratio of new partner is given but sacrifice by old partner is not given. Right, means the new partner whatever share is going to get, that is given in the question, but what sacrifice is being done by the old partner, that is not given. So how we'll attempt that question, we'll see. Okay, another case, when profit sharing of new partner is given and also new profit sharing ratio of old partners is given. See here what will happen, new partner share is given and new profit sharing ratio of old partner is also given. Okay, so here also certain kind of numerical problem will be there. How we'll see. Okay, when new partner acquires his share from old partners equal. So this is a kind of situation like I explained you in the example, that some portion he is getting from one partner and another portion from another partner, but from both partners he is getting the equal share. Okay, now second mode, there is a single case here when new partner acquires his share from old partners in a particular ratio. See, here there is equal. When it is not equal, then this situation is applied, right? Means in a particular share. Okay, now mode 3, case 1, when new partner acquires his share in a particular fraction of old partner, like explained in example. Okay, 1/3 of A share. Okay, that will be applied here. We'll see the numerical question. And when one of the existing partners retains his original share of profit on admission of new partner, that can also happen. Say for example, 3 partners are there. Okay, when another 4th partner is coming, then A is saying that I will not change my ratio. They will be changed only in the B and C's ratio, not in A's ratio. Okay, so how we are going to attempt numerical question on that, we will see. Okay. So now, based on all these cases, you can see the numerical question on your screen. And I explain you the cases as I have written here. That depends on the first case, because before attempting the question, we need to understand what it is given. Okay, as I explained you that profit sharing ratio of new partner is given, but sacrifice made by old partner is not given. Let's read that question. Ajit and Vinay are partners sharing profit in the ratio of 5:3. Alright, so that is their old ratio. Okay, sacrifice is not given. Chetan is admitted for 1/4 share, new partner share is given. Calculate new profit sharing ratio of the partner. So in this question, we do not see the sacrifice made by the old partners. Understood? Mode 1, second case. Okay, Ajit and Vinay are partners, they admit Chetan for 1/4 share. Okay, new partner share is given, right? Okay, in future profit sharing ratio between Ajit and Vinay would be 2:1. Okay, so that is what the new profit sharing ratio of the old partners. Okay, so that is given. How will attempt the question? I'll explain you. Okay, the very first I am explaining you how the cases are applied. Okay, last one we see Ajit and Vinay are partners sharing profit in the ratio of 5:4. Alright, that is the old ratio. They admit Chetan for a 1/10 share. Okay, new partner share is also given, which he acquires in equal proportion from both. The same case is there when the new partner is acquiring equal proportion from the old partner. Okay, so these 3 are there. Very first we will attempt these. Okay, then we'll talk about these. Understood the point? Now let's move on. So let's start solving all these. Okay, very first Ajit and Vijay are partners, fine, sharing profits in the ratio 5:3. Okay, Chetan is admitted for 1/4 share. Now, how we need to start the question? See, we are calculating the new profit sharing ratio. Okay, so very first we see that Chetan shares. How much Chetan is going to get? 1/4. Okay, now we see that let us assume that total share of firm is equal to 1. Okay, now after giving Chetan share, remaining share for old partners is equal to 1 minus 1/4. Alright, we just assume that there is the total share of firm 1. Out of that 1, we deducted Chetan share. Okay, then how much we are left with? 3/4 share. Okay, now this 3/4 is available for the old 2 partners. Okay, who are they? Ajit and Vinay. Right? Now who will get how much? That will depend on their old ratio. So earlier Ajit was getting 5/8 and Vinay was getting 3/8. So they will share this 3/4 share in the same ratio, that is 5:3. So what Ajit is going to get, let's calculate this. What Vinay is going to get, let's calculate that. Okay, and that Chetan is getting 1/4. Okay, now we'll have to equalize, right? We have to see the equal basis. Only then we can frame the common ratio. Okay, now if we multiply with 8, then what we get? 32. So we'll have to multiply it at both the sides. Okay, then we get 8/30. Right? Now all the bases are equal. See? Okay, so we can have the new ratio 15:9:8, and it cannot be shortened further. Okay, so that is what the new ratio of Ajit, Vinay and Chetan. Understood? Now let's move on to another problem. So problem 2 says that Ajit and Vinay are partners. They admit Chetan for 1/4 share. In future, profit sharing ratio between Ajit and Vinay will be 2:1. Alright, calculate new profit sharing ratio. Then the similar way it will be going on. Chetan's share is 1/4. Fine. Let us assume that total share of firm is 1. After giving Chetan's share, remaining share for old partner, that is 1 minus 4, that is 3/4. Okay, so earlier we did the distribution between Ajit and Vinay in the old ratio, but now new ratio is available, so it has to be done in that case. Understood? So how much he is going to get? 2/3 and Vinay 1/3. We did that. Okay, so let's do that. Let's calculate it. Alright, so you can see that Ajit is going to get 6/12 and Vinay is going to get 3/12. And how much Chetan is getting? That is 1/4. We'll have to equalize with 12 now. We'll have to multiply it with 3 at both places. Then we get 3/12. Now all the bases are equal. We can pick the ratio 6:3:3. Right. Now we see that it can be shortened further as well. If we divide it by 3, then what we get? 2:1:1. So that will be the new profit sharing ratio of Ajit, Vinay and Chetan. Alright, so now let's move on to problem 3. So let's read the third one. Ajit and Vinay are partners sharing profit in the ratio 5:4, that is their old ratio. They admit Chetan for 1/10 share. Fine. Okay, so Chetan's share is 1/10. Alright. Okay. Now, which he acquires in equal proportion from both. Find the new profit sharing ratio. Alright. Okay. So 1/10 Chetan is getting, but half of 1/10 he is getting from Ajit and half of this he is getting from Vinay. Okay. So we need not do that right now. Now we'll have to do 2 equal proportion. Okay. Means we'll have to make it half. Right. See, what we did with Ajit surrenders in favor of Chetan half portion of this 1/10. So if we do that, that is 1/20. But similarly, Vijay surrenders in favor of Chetan the same half portion of 1/10. That is again 1/20. Alright. Now let's see that the new share of Ajit. So as we know that old share minus surrender share or sacrifice share, that is known as the new share. So what was the old share of Ajit? We'll have to see. Ajit's old share was 5/9. Earlier he was getting 5/9 and then he surrendered 1/20. Now let's calculate how much he is left with. Alright, so that is 91/180. You can calculate. Now let's talk about Vinay. Okay, so in case of Vinay it is 71/80. Okay, so that is their new share. Now let's see from Chetan's point of view. Chetan's new share will be, that is 1/10. Now this 1/10 has to be converted according to this. Okay, so we'll have to multiply at 2 places with 18. So it comes out 18/180. Now all the bases are equal. Okay, now we can have the new ratio. What is that? 91:71:18. If we can shorten it further, we will, but I don't think that it is being divided by any digit. So this is the final answer. That is the new ratio. Understood the point? So we'll have to stick to the condition of the question. If we go according to that, we can easily attempt the question. Okay. Now let's move on towards the mode 2. So the problems related to mode 2 and 3 you can see on your screen. I have done the problems here. Very first I explained you the case. The second mode was there when a new partner acquires his shares from old partner in a particular ratio. Now let's see, this situation is being applied here or not. Yes, Ajit and Vinay are partner sharing profit in the ratio 2:1. That is the old ratio. They admit Chetan into partnership for 25% share. That is a way of giving a question. They can either give 25% share. What is 25%? 25/100. If we see that comes out 1 by 4, or they better mention it 1 by 4. So that is the way of giving the question. Let's read further. Chetan acquired the share from old partners in this ratio. So that is what the particular ratio. Understood? So let's attempt it first, then we will move on to mode 3. Understood? Okay. See, either we call it that Chetan acquired, or we call it that Ajit surrendered or sacrificed. Right? The same thing is there. So Ajit surrendered in favor of Chetan. How much? 3/5 of 1/4. Because what is written here? Chetan acquired this share from old partners in 3:2. Okay, so the portion will be done from his share. Okay, so this 1/4, you understand, he got 3 by 5 from Ajit, okay, and 2 by 5 from Vinay. That is what the position. Understood the point? Okay, so there have to be two parts of 1/4, one 3/5 and another 2/5. Okay, so this portion he will be getting from Ajit. So Ajit surrender how much? 3/5 of 1/4. Let's calculate it. That is 3 by 20. Now the same situation is there for Vinay. So Vinay surrenders 2 by 20 and Ajit surrenders 3 by 20. Now let's calculate the new share of these two after surrendering. And what we know, that old share minus sacrifice share, then we get the new share, remaining share. Okay, so Ajit's new share. Alright. So what was his old ratio? Let's see the question. That is 2:1. Means 2 by 3. Okay. Out of this 2 by 3, he has given 3 by 20 to Chetan. So how much he is left with? Let's calculate that. 31 by 60. Alright. Now similarly we will calculate the new share for Vinay. What was his old share? 1 by 3. And how much he has surrendered? 2 by 20. So let's see how much he is left with. 14 by 60. So that is their new ratio. Now let's calculate for Chetan. Chetan's new share or Chetan's share, whatever we name it. That is already 1 by 4, but we'll have to equalize. Okay, so we'll have to multiply with something. Fine. We'll have to multiply both places by 50. That comes out 15 by 60. So by this we see that all the bases are equal. Now we can frame the new ratio. That is 31:14:15. We can shorten it further, not at all. So that is what our final. So this is what the situation. We will have to focus here because these two ratios have been divided of his share. Okay, so have to be very much particular about this question. Now let's move on towards the mode 3. What was mode 3 all about? It was all about that a new partner gets share in a particular fraction of old partner share. Okay, so let's see that condition is being applied here or not. Okay, so that is what the problem 5. Let's read that. Ajit and Vinay are partners in a firm sharing profit in the ratio of 3:2. That 3:2, that is their old ratio. Ajit surrenders 1 by 5 of his share. Who surrenders? Ajit surrenders 1 by 5 of his share. We'll have to focus about it. In earlier question, that was 3 by 5 of new partner share. Okay, but here Ajit shares his himself. Okay, whereas Vinay surrendered 2 by 5 of his share in the favor of Chetan, the new partner. Calculate new profit sharing ratio. Alright, so how we calculate? Let's see. Now you notice in the question Chetan's share is not given, so we'll calculate that, no problem. Ajit surrenders in favor of Chetan. So what was Ajit's share? It was 3 by 5. So the question says out of this 3 by 5, 1 by 5 has to be given to Chetan, but that 1 by 5 has to be out of this. Okay, so we will calculate like this. So that is 3 by 25. Similarly, we will calculate for Vinay. So let's go to the question again. 2 by 5th of his share. So what is the share of Vinay? It was 2 by 5. Then we'll have to calculate 2 by 5 of this. Okay, so that is 4 by 25. Okay, now we'll calculate the new share of these both, because from old share if we deduct the sacrifice share we get the new share. This earlier share was 3 by 5 and we deducted this 3 by 25. How much is left with? It is 12 by 25. Fine. Similarly we will calculate for Vinay. How much he is surrendering? 4 by 25. 6 by 25. Fine. Now let's calculate for Chetan. We can say that Chetan's new share or Chetan's total share. Okay. So he got total this and this. So 3 by 25 plus 4 by 25. Total comes out 7 by 20. Alright. So now we can, because all the bases are equal, let's see here. So we can frame the new ratio. 12 is to 6 is to 7. It cannot be shortened further. So that is our final answer. Alright. So we will have to be focused about 1/5 of his share. His means Ajit. Okay. So be sure about it. Now let's move on to mode 3 case 2. Alright. So what does problem 6 say? Ajit, Vinay and Nimit are partners sharing profit in the ratio of 2:2:1. Fine, that is their old ratio. There are 3 partners here. Okay. Chetan is admitted as a new partner for 1/16th share. Alright. Nimit will retain his share. Find the new ratio. See, Nimit will retain his share. And what is the portion of Nimit here? He is not going to change his share. Understood? So how we are going to attempt it? Let's follow. See, Chetan's share is 1 by 16, is given in the question, and Nimit's shares we can calculate from here 1 by 5. Alright. So let's assume total share of firm is equal to 1. Alright. So we know very well that their ratios are fixed. We are calculating the new ratio and their ratios are fixed. These are not going to change. Okay, that is the new partner. He has to get it and he is not going to change. So he also has to get the same. Alright. So the change will be there in the remaining portion. So we'll have to deduct the total of these two. Okay, for others. Because only they are going to change. They will not change. Okay. So let's see. Right. We'll have to deduct these three. You can also write down like this. Fine. So 59 by 80th share is remaining for Ajit and Vinay. Alright. So Ajit and Vinay, no further information is given about Ajit and Vinay. So Ajit and Vinay will share it in the old profit sharing ratio. So earlier, what was the old ratio of Ajit and Vinay? It was 2:2, or we can say 1:1. Right? Okay. So what will be Ajit's new share? Let's calculate here. That is 59 by 60. Similarly, for Vinay we can calculate. It is the same one because they both are getting equal share right now. Okay. Now we can calculate the new share of all the partners. So that is new share of these two. Now for Nimit and Chetan also we can calculate. So for Chetan, new share, ABC, he is getting 1 by 16. Let's convert it according to this. So we'll multiply 10 at both the places. So that is 10 by 160. And for this Nimit, if we see, that is 1 by 5. So we'll have to multiply it with 32. So it comes out 32 by 160. Now all the bases are equal. 1 by 60. Okay. Now we can frame the new ratio. I just write out here. New ratio is equal to. Now we'll have to see who is there at first. Ajit. So we'll put 59 first. Okay. Now second is there Vinay. He is also getting 59. Okay. And then Nimit. That is 32. And then Chetan. That is 10. So it cannot be shortened further. So that will be our final answer. So this was all about the calculation of new profit sharing ratio. Alright, I have covered all the possible cases. I'll have to practice some more numerical problems on that. Then you can have better command on this. Now let's move on towards the calculation of sacrificing ratio. Alright, so determination of sacrificing ratio in terms of admission of a new partner. See, what is the sacrificing ratio? Already you know that. Sacrificing ratio is the ratio in which the old partners forego. That is the sacrifice made by them, right? Okay, in favor of new partner. Already explained you that the new partner comes for some share, so definitely the old partners are supposed to surrender or sacrifice some shares. So in the ratio in which they 3 to as many are there, sacrifice, that ratio is known as the sacrificing ratio. Alright, so related to the calculation of this sacrificing ratio, we have 3 situations. I just read them out. One share of new partner is given in the question without giving details of the sacrifice made by the old partner. Alright, so new partner share is given, but the details related to the old partner's sacrifice is not given, then in that case we consider that in the old profit sharing ratio they must have sacrificed. Okay, problem number 7 we are going to attempt for that. Okay, now situation 2, when old ratio of the old partners and new ratio of the all the partners is given. So old ratio is given, fine, and new ratio of all the partners means including the new partner is also given. Then in that case how it is to be calculated, we will do the problem number 8 on that. Okay, now situation 3, when new partner acquires a share by sacrifice of a particular fraction of shares by old partners. Okay, so new partner is getting some share, but that share how is achieving? He is achieving as particular fraction of shares of old partner is made. Okay, so related to that we will be doing the problem number 9. So without wasting much time, let's start solving this problem. You can see this problem on your screen. So I have done the questions here. So I just read the problem number 7. Ajit and Vinay are partner sharing profit in the ratio of 3:1. That is the old ratio. Alright. They admit Chetan into partnership for 1/8 share of profit. So new partner share is also given. Calculate sacrificing ratio and new profit sharing ratio. Alright. So the details related to the sacrifice is not given. We'll have to calculate. Okay. So fine. Let's start. How to do that? Okay. In that case, what happens? It is assumed that they must have made the sacrifice in the old profit sharing ratio. How it is done? I'll just show you. It is as similar as the problem number 1 we did. Only difference is that right now we are focusing on sacrificing ratio and at that time we are focusing on new profit share. So Chetan's share is here 1/8. Let us assume total share of firm is equal to 1. After deducting Chetan's shares, remaining share for Ajit and Vijay is equal to 1 minus 1/8. So that is 7/8 share. Alright. So now Ajit, how much he is going to get, how much Vinay is going to get out of that? Okay, Ajit is going to get on the basis of the old ratio. In the absence of information, we will get the same thing. Okay, so that is what 3/4 and he will be getting 1/4. Okay, so let's do that. So Ajit's new share we are calculating right now. Similarly, we are calculating for Vinay's new share. Okay, so Ajit's new share will be 21/32 and Vinay's new share will be 7/32. Okay, and Chetan 1/8 will have to multiply by 4. It becomes 4/32. Okay, so we see the new ratio 21:7:4. Alright, now let's calculate about Ajit and Vinay. This is the new ratio because the question asks the new ratio also. We have calculated the new ratio already in problem 1. We have discussed the same procedure. Okay, now let's talk about sacrificing ratio. So there are two ways to solve that. One lengthy way, another short way. Short way is what? I just tell you the answer is 3:1. Sacrificing. How I did that? That's very simple. In that case, when there is no detail related to the sacrifice is given, only the new partner share is given and the partner's old profit sharing ratio is given, then the old profit sharing ratio will be the sacrificing ratio. Alright? If you don't believe that, I just prove it. How? We know. What is the formula for sacrificing ratio? Old share minus new share. So let's apply it in the case of Ajit first. Right? So what was Ajit's old share? Ajit's old share was 3/4. Okay. And what is the new share of Ajit? We need to calculate only for these two. Okay, we separate it. 21:7 because he is not sacrificing. Okay, so that comes out 3:1. So his new ratio is 21/32. Let's calculate. So that is for Ajit. Okay, now let's calculate the same situation for Vinay. What was Vinay's old share? 1/4. Let's deduct the new share. The new share is 7/32. Then it comes out 1/32. Now let's see here. We'll reduce the base. The ratio will come 3:1. Okay, this is the old ratio. As I told you, there are two ways to solve this. One, the same sacrificing ratio will be the same as the old ratio, or you can calculate with the same formula, same procedure. Understood the point? Now let's move on to the problem number 8. So let's read the problem number 8. Ajit and Vinay are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2. That is their old ratio. Chetan is admitted into partnership. New profit sharing ratio among Ajit, Vinay and Chetan is 5:3:2. So that is the new ratio of all three. Okay. Now we need to calculate the sacrificing ratio. It's very simple. Ajit and Vinay. Okay. So what was their old ratio? 3/5 and 2/5. And what is their new ratio? 5/10 and 3/10. Am I right? So now let's calculate that. We'll deduct it from this. Okay. So we see here 3/5 minus 5/10. And so both are sacrificing by 1/10. Bases are equal. Then their sacrificing ratio is 1:1. Alright. So that is what the answer of this. It's very simple. Okay. It is similar to the questions we did at the time of chapter 4. Okay. These all are related. Okay. There is no difference. Fine. So now let's read the problem number 9. It says Ajit and Vinay are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 5:3. That is the old ratio. Ajit surrenders 1/20th of his share. We have to be cautious about it. 1/20th of Ajit's shares. Fine. Whereas Vinay surrenders 1/24th of his share in favor of Chetan, a new partner. Find the new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio. Alright, so let's calculate what Ajit surrenders. Okay, so Ajit's share is what? 5/8, and he is surrendering 1/20th of his share. Means 1/20th of 5/8. So let's calculate how much it comes out. So it is 5/160. Now similarly we will calculate for Vinay. 3/8, right? How much of 3/8? 1/24th. Alright, let's calculate that. So 3/192. Alright, now this is what their sacrifice shares. Alright, so we can calculate the ratio from here as well because they have surrendered that ratio. So one answer we can directly calculate, that is, but these are not equalized. We'll have to do the equalization with them. So let's shorten them very first and then we'll equalize them. Okay, so we can all write down like this. Okay, now if we multiply with 2 at both sides, then it will be equalized. 2/64 and 1/64. Both the bases are equal. Now the sacrificing ratio is 2:1. One answer we got. Okay, now let's talk about the new profit sharing ratio. So already I have taught you the procedure for that. Let's go ahead with that. So Ajit's new share, old was 5/8, and how much he surrendered? 5/160. That we can write down 1/32 as well. So we see here 19/32. Similarly, let's see for Vinay. 3/8 minus 3/192, and 3/192 we calculate that was 1/64. Okay, that is 11/64. It is 23/64. Right. So that is what the new share. Okay, and if we see the Chetan share and Chetan's total share, we got two portions. One this and another that. 5/160 plus 3/192. So it has been shortened as 1/32 and it has been shortened as 1/64. 3/64. Okay, now we'll have to convert this in 64. We'll have to multiply with 2. Okay, so the new ratio comes out 38. This has become what? 38/64. So 38, 23, and that is the new ratio. Alright, we did not do anything new. It is the similar procedure. Okay, because C got two portions. One from Ajit 5/60 and another from Vinay 3/192. So we just made the total of that. So his total share comes out 3/64. Okay, now Ajit's new share we have calculated. That was his old share. We deducted the surrendered share. Then we got this, and then we have made the equalization with this. So this is the new profit sharing ratio. Alright, so this is all about this. Okay, now before I end this video, I would like to have discussion about the gain as well. Sometimes what happens when the new partner comes into the firm, then may be possible such kind of agreement is made, then out of the all existing partner, the old partners, one is gaining or two are gaining and only one is sacrificing. Okay, So if it is happening, then in that case the gaining partner also has to compensate to the sacrificing partner. Okay, he will also be treated like the new partner, okay, for further treatment. So whenever the cases like that come, then we will discuss about it. Alright, today we have done the numerical problems based on sacrificing ratio as well as the new profit sharing ratio. Very soon I'll be meeting you in the another video with the further concept related to the same chapter. Till then, thank you, bye bye.